Okay, so for this last little bit, we'll talk about some of the peer review assignments. So, for my time like teaching this class, right, I think I've kind of come to a few ups. Oh, my hair is awful. Jesus. We're leaving that in. Anyway, what I think ends up happening with students with this paper, right, is that students are asked to do something that aren't normal, right? Like if you isn't normal compared relative to other classes. In the sense that other classes, you're just asked like, did you read the book? What are the facts? Yes, no, true, false. This is the correct answer, right? So there are things that are objectively correct. This assignment is different because it becomes much more subjective, right? You were asked to give an opinion, to give analysis, to do like a little compare and contrast kind of thing. And there are no definite like right or wrong answers, right? And I think some students struggle with that because, it's a different way. It's a way of thinking that people aren't used to, right? They're used to just giving correct answers in this, paper. And this is true for all papers. And we all agreed when we decided on this assignment that students should be asked to think and to justify their answers, to do their own independent research, and not just rely on being their like factual yes nos, right? It's challenging because it's different and not necessarily because it's difficult. When we created this assignment, this is something that we knew everyone could do and should be able to do. So we didn't think that this was unreasonable, but we do acknowledge that it is different and that it takes some mental adjustment and you kind of have to like gas yourself up to think you can do it. And just because something's different doesn't make it bad and doesn't make it like, unreasonable, right? Now, maybe it's not fun. Okay, you got me, right? It isn't anything that we thought you couldn't do, right? And that was a very careful thing, right? These are all things we think students should be able to do, provided that they have read the material, they're asking help when they need help, they're attending lectures and taking notes on all their lectures, right? And they do go out and do the independent research, right? Now, students haven't done any of those things, well, then we shouldn't expect you to do it, right? But that is the expectation we have coming in, is that students are being proactive in their education, studying, taking notes on what their readings are, taking notes in class, spending, a fair amount of time on work ahead of time. Beforehand, right? So those are all the expectations coming in. And so if you're doing that, this assignment should be a piece of cake. If you're not doing it, this assignment's unbelievably difficult. So as long as put in separations in the preparation, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Put in the prep work and don't expect me or any other professor, right, to accommodate like an unwillingness to prepare on your end. That's what it comes down to. So am I running out of battery? Jesus. So for, the list of assignments is there. We're simply asking you to outline the importance of studying a theory, tell me what the correlates of a crime are, all the details are listed there, review the, and then you're like working on picking a good theory and a bad theory, right? At the end, you combine all these papers together, you edit them to reflect the feedback, you edit things to make them correct. And then what I'll probably do at the end of the term is that arrange maybe some extra credit tutorial sessions where we can talk about the assignments and we can identify strengths and weaknesses of your paper before you turn it in. So point being, right, is spend the time to read the expectations, read the material for the class, ask questions if you need clarification to me. Do not ask the group me because they don't know anything. And trust me, they don't. It's really awful, some of the things that I hear that some of us were talking and in the group me and they said this and they're like always wrong. Ask me if you need help because I'm the only one that can help you like actually succeed, even though I may seem like scary for some reason. I think it's my Cro-Magnon forehead perhaps, or I've been told I have like a piercing gaze. Look, spend the time doing it, spend some time discussing the theories, right, learning how to pick things out, ask questions that are important, and so on. So for this, right, we're just looking for, I'm just asking you to tell me why we study theory, tell me how we judge theory. That's assignment 1. Tell me why we study theory, how we judge it. Assignment 2, What are some patterns, aka correlates, that we see with respect to crime? Like, who does crime more often? What's the pattern that we see, right? Assignment 3, tell me a theory that you think is good, or for assignment 3, you could do one that you think is bad. Doesn't matter which one, as long as we discuss it in class. Tell me, how did the theory came to be? Like, where did we get from? How does this theory explain why crime occurs? How does it explain the patterns of crime, or does not? That could also be one. So if it doesn't explain, tell me why it does or does not. Tell me the criteria to tell me, the criteria from assignment 1. Tell me 3, tell me if that theory is good or if it's bad. And then tell me a policy, right? So if this theory is true, tell me what the deal is, right? Peer review assignment 4 is so if you did a good theory in peer review assignment 3, you would do a bad theory for assignment 4. If you did a bad one in assignment 3, you would do a good one for peer review 4, right? Really important, when you turn in the final paper, you have to do 2 theories, right? Some students turn in 1, and I don't know why, even though I drill it in the heads that 2 theories are required. No idea why that happens. You have to do 2 theories. It is an expected requirement. But if you spend the time doing this and you do little nibbles and chunks of it throughout the time, this assignment really isn't that bad. If you wait until the last minute to do each of the peer review assignments, you're going to have an unbelievably difficult time, doing well on the paper. And that's simply because you haven't prepared enough and done it. Take the nibbles. Don't spread it out, break up in little chunks, and you should be good to go. But with that, we'll kind of end here today. I appreciate you guys watching, and I guess I'll see you guys in person maybe one day? I don't know. We'll find out. See ya.